What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NFL video with your boy. This is a Thursday night showdown between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment anything in the comment section, enter your name into the giveaway I do every single week on this channel. I appreciate you guys so much for the love, support, watching the videos, all that good stuff. Hit me up on Twitter when you do good and all that good stuff. I love hearing about it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at cam_ATL. If you have any questions or just want to contact me in any way, that's the best way to get a hold of me. And let's go ahead and get straight into it, baby. I have a good grasp on this game. I'm excited for this one. It should be a good night for the squad. Make sure you hit up greenlightdfs.com to get your weekly package before this week starts, so you get Thursday included as well. Um, Starting out in this game today, we've got some weather. All right, we've got high sustained winds. It's going to be windy as shit. Okay, it's going to be very windy, over 20-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to affect deep throws. It's going to affect kicks. That's going to affect those type of things. So obviously, in situations like that, just like in the rain or the snow or anything like that, the run game is upgraded. Now, already in this game, I was thinking it's just going to be a run-heavy game in general. Neither team's probably going to put up a ton of points. It's probably going to be a lot of grinded-out game. Probably going to be low scoring. A lot of people aren't going to be very excited with, the amount of points being put up. But it is what it is. Both of these teams are going to rely on the run heavily. All right, and with that in mind, let's go ahead and get straight into the slate. All right, so starting off at captain. Now, first thing I want to talk about here is if you can get Nick Chubb, which is the main running force in this game in general, as well as in on the favored team in Cleveland at home. If you can get Nick Chubb at captain, cool. The problem is that captain he's 18 compared to Najee Harris at 14-7. Okay, so when it comes to captain spot, I want one of the two running backs. All right, you can go Kareem Hunt if you would like to go Kareem Hunt. That's fine. Let me take Najee out. Hold on one second. Take Najee out of there. You can go Kareem Hunt if you want to. He's 11-4, so that's fine. He's another guy who's going to get a lot of run in this game. If you want to go Kareem Hunt and go down 3,000 from Najee Harris, save that money. That's completely fine with me. I'm going to stick with Najee Harris at captain. He's cheaper than Nick Chubb. He's going to get way more work than Kareem Hunt, and he's going to get more involved in this passing script for Pittsburgh when they're behind and these little dump offs. With the wind being so strong, it's going to affect deeper throws. It's not going to affect shorter routes like Deontay Johnson runs and stuff like that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Najee Harris is perfect for this type of environment. Okay, not only does Vegas have them down, which I would expect Cleveland to be able to win this game. So, with that being said, Najee Harris should be utilized a lot in little dump offs, especially with them having Trubisky at quarterback. All right, so expect a lot of dump offs in this game, a lot of short routes, and Najee Harris should excel in this situation. On top of that, it's just he gets the upgrade with it just being a running environment, period. So, Najee Harris, I'm expecting him to get involved in the pass game, in the run game, and just heavily involved in general. I absolutely love him. If you have the money, then you can go Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb at 18 is really taking away from other spots. You're not going to really balance very well. You're going to have to take a few punts most likely, and it doesn't feel like the greatest game plan on this slate where we don't have a ton of value. I'll talk about the value we have, but it's not sexy. You know what I mean? So because of that, I want to go Najee Harris, and like I said, a Kareem Hunt is interesting at captain. Let me check real quick. What's Deontay Johnson's price? Deontay Johnson at 13.8 is viable. Chase Claypool playing from behind is viable at 9.3. All of those guys I just mentioned are fine. I'm not going either quarterback, but I am going to side with Najee Harris at captain on this one. All right. With that being said, I'm still locking Nick Chubb. Now here's the thing. Nick Chubb is 12K. So you're really having to spend a premium on Nick Chubb. Okay, but I think if you can make that work, I think it could be the big difference maker. If y'all remember on, I think it was the Monday night showdown, it could have been the Sunday night, I don't remember, the Green Bay game, right? Aaron Jones was priced up super high, so a ton of people did not play him. Many people did not play him because he was priced up like Nick Chubb is, right? Because of, at the end of the day, he ended up going off. So the people who were like, you know what, I'm going to prioritize him because this is the guy I like, and then make the rest work, those people were at the top of contests. Whereas the other people were like, oh, he's 12K, I'm going to come down from him and balance out a little bit. Those people struggled. This is one of those type of situations where a Nick Chubb could absolutely demolish. I mean, you see the wind. You see how well he's done this year already. He's got that 30 DK point upside, especially in a run-heavy game script like it's going to be here. They're favored, so that automatically favors the run. They're at home. That'll favor him. The wind is 20 plus miles an hour. That's going to affect throws deeper than 10, 15 yards. So Nick Chubb just gets the bump, plain and simple. I really love the run game once again in this game. And Nick Chubb is 12K, so he is a lot. And I'm hoping because he's 12K, the ownership is held in check. But I'm willing to take one punt to make sure that I can get a Nick Chubb in, even if it's not the most sexiest punt. We're going to talk about options, but Nick Chubb is a guy that I am at this moment really, really, really prioritizing because I just don't see a script in this game where Nick Chubb's not used heavily, as well as Kareem Hunt. I love both of those guys. All right. So yeah, because of that, because of his price at 12K, and I believe his ownership will be held in check because of that price, I'm willing to hop all over that. All right. Next up, Deontay Johnson. I want to prioritize Deontay Johnson because he's another guy with Pittsburgh being projected to be behind in this game and the game script being passed for Pittsburgh. And with the wind as high as it is, Deontay Johnson excels on short, small, little, quick cut routes. He's a guy that Trubisky's been relying on heavily because Trubisky's not a guy who's really wants to air it down the field anyways. So with the wind, with the fact that they're going to be playing from behind most likely in Cleveland, with the fact he's going to need to get the ball out of his hand probably, Cleveland's probably going to be applying some pressure. I really like Deontay Johnson. I think he's going to get targeted a bunch in this game, and these short route guys are going to be fantastic options. Now, with that being said, you know what? There's a guy that I'm actually prioritizing a little higher. Chase Claypool just feels too cheap to me, y'all, at 6'2". All right, I love Deontay Johnson. Don't get me wrong. But Chase Claypool is 6'2". I get he hasn't had a big game this year. But with this game script, okay, with them playing from behind most likely, and at only 6'2". Like I said, he hasn't gotten the exposure in the past game like we would like to see. Okay, and that's why his price is down to 6'2". But at 6'2", that's just too cheap. Plain and simple. You're getting a guy who plays the most offensive snaps on this Pittsburgh offense. Chase Claypool played more snaps than anybody in this Pittsburgh offense this season, when it comes to the wide receiver group at least. Chase Claypool at 6'2", going to be on the field for damn near every play, playing from behind. I absolutely love him. Now, you're not going to get that deep threat because of the wind being super high. I mean, maybe they get lucky and connect on one. But it's all about the opportunity here. And at 6'2", with the target rate he should see in a game script that there should see, I think Chase Claypool is a fantastic option. I think he's going to have a solid enough game to hit his value at 6'2". So I side him slightly over Deontay, but I really want them both. So that's the core three guys that I'm focused on. I'm focused on the run game, number one. Najee Harris, number one on the Pittsburgh side. I like him at captain because he's cheaper. Like I said, my main focus is run game in this game. So I want the cheaper of the two that's going to get just as much usage, and that's Najee Harris. Nick Chubb, I still want him. All right, I still want him. I just want him at flex. I don't care for him at captain because that really takes away a ton of our money. And then Chase Claypool, with the behind game script for Pittsburgh, Chase Claypool at only 6'2", plays the most offensive snaps of the wide receiver group. I mean, he's going to hit sooner than later. He's a big body guy down in the red zone that I could see him just throwing a quick slant to, or just a little quick fade out to when they get in the red zone. I like Claypool. I think he could get in the end zone tonight, and at 6'2", I think he's a fantastic option. Now, you could get sneaky. I'm not interested in Amari Cooper at 9'4". I do have interest in Kareem, like I said already before, but I'm not going to get a ton of quarterbacks, to be honest. I think if you had to go a quarterback, I think both quarterbacks are fine. With the script, maybe Trubisky's going to have to throw a little more. Jacoby Brissett on top of that has a little bit of a hindered ankle at the moment. So Trubisky's probably the quarterback I would side with if I had to choose one. But I really don't like to choose a quarterback in general on the slate, to be honest with you. I think that's just my strategy I'm liking today. I do like Pat Freiermuth as well because I think he's going to get involved as well in these short routes for Pittsburgh. I think he could have a fantastic game. But once again, Chase Claypool is even cheaper than him. So it's hard to get him in at 7K. Because if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably side Chase slightly, especially with the 800 savings. Both defenses are honestly in play. I don't love playing defenses on showdowns because if you are playing defenses, that means the game's boring as boring, big time. Okay, and I just don't really care to get ton of exposure to the defenses. But both defenses are in play because of that sustained wind, because of both defenses probably applying a decent amount of pressure against not so great quarterbacks. All right, but let's talk value. Kickers are out for me. George Pickens is an option here. Now I've played with a couple scenarios. Like I said, run game's locked. I'm not messing with the run game, right? But if you want to drop Claypool down to a Pickens, I don't love the strategy. But if you want to save some money, you could drop Claypool down to Pickens and maybe go up from somewhere else. That's fine. But Pickens playing from behind, he'll get his eventually. He's a talented receiver, a young receiver, and we'll see what happens. He hasn't played a ton. Like he's playing like what is it, 80% snaps compared to Claypool over 90. But at the end of the day, if you want to save that money, that's 6-2 down to 4-8. So if that makes a major impact anywhere, then cool. Otherwise, keep Chase Claypool. All right, let's talk about real value. Let's sort point per salary. Miles Boykin. Now, I don't see him at a 4.23. That's a mistake. I see him around probably like around a 2.5 or less. But even then, he's still the best value on this slate. Like, let's say, even if I alter this, right, and I put him down to a 1, he's still one of the best values on the entire slate. Okay? He's still one of the best values on the entire slate. So Miles Boykin, he doesn't play a ton of snaps, guys. He's more of a special teams guy. But with them playing from behind here, if he can get in and get like, maybe be spelling a Claypool or Deontay Johnson or something on a play, come in and get a nice little play, one catch, and we're fine at 200. So at the end of the day, a key with showdowns is to, get the main guys you want in, and then to really play one of those punts or a couple of those punts and try to make things really work on showdowns. That's the strategy that I've played with a lot of times. A lot of times I'll have a guy who's down in the low thousands to hundreds range, and I'll have the studs that I really want. And if those studs do what I need them to do, really a lot of times if my $200 value gets a 0, it still didn't kill me and I still cash. But Miles Boykin is a serviceable value. Who else? David Bell is a serviceable value at 14. But that's about it, man. There's not a lot of value on this slate. Gunner, you can consider Gunner at 800 as serviceable value in a solid spot. But there's not a ton of value on this slate, man. There really is not a ton of value on this slate. I'm not liking a ton of it. I'm not even liking a ton of the mid-ranges, guys. So because of that range, I'm down to get a Boykin and then get the studs that I want. You know what I mean? So anyways, thank you guys for joining me as always. Good luck tonight, man. I think we're on to something here with this strategy. I think run game is what you need to focus on. Trust me, if everybody's going to be off Nick Chubb in this environment, you need to grab him. All right. If he doesn't work out for you, then so be it. That's DFS sometimes. Take your L. But the smart way to play this slate today is to take a guy like a Nick Chubb in this environment because it's 20-mile-per-hour plus winds, so the throwing is downgraded. They already want to run the ball predominantly. Him and Kareem Hunt and then Najee Harris on the other side are focal points. Okay? All right, guys. Good luck, everybody. I will see y'all tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for the final slate breakdown. We're going to break down position by position for week 3. Let's smash this slate, baby. Let's get it. I'm out. Peace.